Manchester by the Sea is a 2016 American drama film written and directed by Kenneth Lonergan and stars Casey Affleck, Michelle Williams, Kyle Chandler, and Lucas Hedges. The movie grossed to $79 million on a $9 million budget, or so I heard. And you might be wondering, why am I reviewing a 2016 movie when I have Hate Story 2, The Class of 83, and Sadak 2 to review? Well, it's just that I've grown tired of watching new movies and I kind of wanted a little bit of a break, and I'm not watching Sadak when it releases because I don't want all that drama. I watched Sadak somewhat in the September last week or October first week because I just don't want all that baggage right now. So I'll start with Class of 83 next and then proceed with the Hate Story reviews. Why did I watch this particular movie? Is because I heard a lot of good things about this movie, and when it released on 2016, I didn't really get the time to watch this in theaters because at the time I was barely getting into Bollywood and Telugu movies, and at the time I wasn't that big on Hollywood. Even now I watch very less Hollywood movies, so I decided at least I have a channel now where I can talk about movies with all of you, so why not start with a good one. Manchester by the Sea is a movie that all of you should watch. I loved this movie, and I did a bit of a research, and this movie was nominated for an Oscar. He got for 2 categories. Casey Affleck won Best Actor, and he deserves it. He gives the best performance in this movie, and it's a very subtle performance where you feel like there isn't much in this, but at the time you start this guy off not knowing why you should like him, because he starts off as a very rude asshole who hates life. Throughout the process of the movie you will understand, but once you start with him, you ask that question, why do I need to like this guy? He's the main character, so why how is he likable? But once the movie progresses, you understand that his reasons for hating life is very much justified. During a certain point in the movie, he is tasked with being the guardian of Lucas Hedges, and even you can tell that is not the optimal situation for this guy. So the one thing which I loved in this movie is the realism of it all. And I'm not talking realism like semi-realistic or anything like that, but this is as real as a cinema can get. It's so realistic that at times I felt like I was watching a documentary where I was just standing by the side, just listening to their conversations, because the dialogues written in this movie are so realistic that not one dialogue felt out of place in this movie. Everyone speaks like how people normally speak in that scenario. Michelle Williams doesn't have that much of a role in this movie, but for the small portion of the film that she's entrusted with, she does a very fine job. The only out of place character that I felt in this movie was Matthew Broderick. He has one scene in this movie, just one scene. He plays I don't know, because I don't know his character. His character really felt out of place. Not the character, but Matthew Broderick in this movie, because everyone else feels like normal looking people, whereas Matthew Broderick with such a cast just feels like an odd one out for me. Maybe because I grew up with the guy. I seen him in Godzilla, Inspector Gadget, all that garbage movies. So the way this movie tells its story is also very unique. There are times in this movie where it just delves into a flashback, and it's not the common type. It takes a very few scenes for you to know that they are actually in a flashback, because both the scenes look very similar and there isn't any very different style that they use to showcase a flashback, which I kind of like, because in such scenes the director actually respects his audience and actually believes that his audience has somewhat of a brain and will eventually figure out which one is the flashback and which one is that. It's not spoon-fed to you. That I can say that for Casey Affleck's performance as well. He doesn't spoon feed you as to why you should like him and why you should feel for the way he feels. No, he actually showcases that as the movie proceeds, as the movie continues and moves along, moves forward, you actually get to know why he's like this and why his actions were justified. Even the songs used in this movie, I liked it to an extent. There wasn't much songs used in the movie, which I kind of liked because it's shown in a very realistic way. Apart from the opening credits, the remaining 2-hour movie is very well done. The only major drawback that I can find is that the most of the Indian audience may not be able to watch this in one sitting, because the movie is very, very, very slow. Each and every scene takes its time to build it, and every scene is built with a very, they take their time building it up. And even the dialogues, just to give you that raw impact, it takes a while for you to go through the movie, because by the end of the movie you feel like you watched 4 hours of a movie even though you watched only 2 hours. But I could really, after watching it though, I feel like I could watch them go on for a lot more. So the runtime didn't really bother me, but I can see some people getting bothered by this. It's with great joy that I'm giving Manchester by the Sea a 7 out of 10. It's a very masterpiece movie, but I would have given it an 8, but it just feels like the drawbacks which I mentioned in the movie really kind of makes it feel like it is a 7 out of 10 film. But that doesn't mean it's bad. In fact, 7 out of 10 is a great movie. It can just go to a streaming site, search for Manchester by the Sea. I think it's available on Netflix. I watched it on Blu-ray, so there you go. And so yeah, just have a watch if you want to watch something which is a masterpiece in its own right. If you're into those with great storylines and great performances, that's very realistic looking kind of cinema, which you have the patience to sit through it, then by all means this is the perfect movie for you, and I would really recommend it. And that's all for my review of Manchester by the Sea. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And if you don't mind, please hit that like button, share this video with your friends, and hit that subscribe button and hit that bell icon too, so that you'll be notified of my videos. Class of 83 is coming up on Saturday or Monday. I guess this will be coming out Saturday, so Saturday or Monday, I don't know when, but it'll come out then. So be on the lookout for that, and then I will proceed with the hate story movies. I'm not watching Sadak 2 now. I told you, either September last week or October first week. That's the time allotted for Sadak 2. So because I just wanted to, let it drown a bit. Well, I'll see you in the Class of 83 video. Bye.